I'm Craig Lee.
I'm Rob McGee.
And this is Real Talk with Rob and Craig. And today we're going to start off with our dad joke, Robert too.
You ready?
Yep.
Craig, which days are the strongest?
I don't know.
Saturday and Sunday. The others are weekdays. Weekdays.
I got it. What's a suicide bomber's biggest fear?
A short fuse.
Dying alone.
That's kind of morbid.
That's what. Anyway, hey,
I have this sweet little joke about weekdays.
It was weak.
Yeah, well, okay.
So lots of good things starting to happen here in the old mortgage business. First, I want to say happy birthday to Mike Goldman.
Happy birthday, Mike Goldman.
Yeah.
Well, how old is he?
I don't know, and it's not his birthday.
Why are we saying happy birthday to him?
Just because every day should be Mike Goldman's birthday, shouldn't it? His birthday's in January.
Well, we're just a little
January,
early.
February.
Mike, we want to be the first to wish you happy birthday.
Yeah. I'm sure you're happy to watch this. As well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so tomorrow the Feds are meeting, having a little.
They're in a meeting right now, and and tomorrow the results.
You know
come
why
out.
I didn't get that right?
Why?
They lied to me so much. That
Boy, they have lied for years now, as it turns out. And by the way, one of the big lies that was told about job creations, you remember, everybody, if you watch the show regularly, we've talked to you about the jobs numbers have prevented the Fed, that's their excuse, from lowering the interest rates. Oh, the jobs data is too good. Jobs market is too strong. So we're not going to lower that interest rate. Well, they just announced the BLS jobs report revised its projections from March of last year to March of this year, and they eliminated 800,000 jobs. They just never happened. They said they happened.
Easy, Trump.
They said they were created. They weren't, and they just poof went away. So
How does that happen?
Well, a kind way to say it would be that they misinterpreted data. A harsher way to say it is they lied about data to us. So
would they do that though?
Well, as it turns out, they would, and they did. And so all of those inflated jobs numbers, that's almost 1 million jobs that they said happened and didn't happen. Almost rounding up.
You can look at it as glass half full.
Yeah. Anyway, because they misreported that data, that was one of the excuses the Fed used to not reduce their interest rate, and it was all a big lie. So, is that going to help us, Craig?
Well, the whole time you're talking about that, which we talked about earlier, I think it's like if somebody put a bag of dog poop from North Korea on your doorstep. I know that's
ripped from today's headlines.
Yeah. You could do a couple things. You can get mad, or you can just clean up the mess and move on. And that's where I think we should go with some of the reports that we get. We can't do anything about what they say, or if Biden, and I know we're not supposed to talk politics, if it was his decision or Nancy Pelosi's or whoever, we can't do anything about it.
Well, BLS is not a government agency.
It's not a government agency.
So it's and you know, the Federal Reserve is not directed by the president or Congress. They operate independently.
This. Yeah,
they're supposed to. They're supposed to anyway.
But it is. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of things that we would like. But it's just not. I mean, it's, you know.
It's not the real world.
Yeah.
It's the thought, but it's not in an application.
When we give that rates are dropping and they should continue to drop, well, we're only telling you what you can go on and do some research and find out, and the same thing.
We're listening to people that study this and are hopefully smarter than us, and we're reporting to you what we're seeing.
And they're as accurate as we are.
Yeah.
because they're all wrong.
Yeah.
You know, back in, and this is going back almost 20 years now, but in 06 and 07, when the world was falling apart here in America,
Right,
you had
right before
so
the bubble
many
popped. Right? Yeah.
people talking about, well, I knew this was coming, but yet very, very, very few can actually go back and record what they said that they knew was going to happen. They're just happy to say nothing that you can prove. The beautiful thing about nowadays, and we were just talking about this, you can fact check everything anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you don't want to type it in, you just, if you got an iPhone, you say, Siri, what's
Ask
this?
Siri,
Or
ask Alexa.
ask it,
Yeah.
Or you can just ask Rob.
And by the way, feel free to call me or Craig. Our numbers will be at the bottom of the screen there. If you ever have a question and you want to know, hey, what are the experts saying? We'll tell you what we're reading. We'll give you our opinion. Nobody knows for sure, as is evidenced by the promises the Fed made and didn't keep this past year. But we think that we're headed towards an actual drop. A lot of people are now saying that with the new data, the Federal Reserve is not going to be able to keep the rate at its current level come its September meeting. So coming right up. And our hope is that they drop it. What we don't know is, will the drop be 0.25% or will it be 0.5%? If it's 0.5%, that obviously will be better for interest rates.
Wow, that's substantial.
Yeah. Be aware. When the Federal Reserve drops its rate 0.5%, that doesn't mean interest rates go down 0.5%. It's a complex piece of machinery there.
Oh, explain that a little bit.
Well,
So if I drop it 1/2, but I only give you 1/8, who keeps the other 3/8?
the banks.
Oh,
Yeah. So the money the banks are going to be buying is going to be cheaper for them. And some of that will come to you, but not all of it, because the house always wins. So the banks will be sure to take their portion. Their profits will increase. It will benefit you in lower interest rates. But always remember, 0.5 point cut doesn't mean 0.5 point residual benefit to you. And you could start to see lowering, as we're seeing right now, rates drop ahead of a cut. That's because the market is pricing that in. We've seen occasions going back a few years, the Federal Reserve dropped their interest rates and rates went up. Why? Because the market had thought it was going to drop at 1/2 and they dropped it 1/4. And so they had already priced that in. It didn't go down as much as they thought. So boom, rates ticked up. So it's always something you've got to watch.
that's great.
Yeah.
It's not great, but
It's the reality.
you know what? I think if we can get rates back into the 4s at some point, as they tick back down, hopefully, we could get into the 4s, and everybody was pretty happy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're never going to make everybody happy. If they're 2s, somebody's going to be complaining that they're still too high.
We had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. We still got people complaining that they were still too high. And that's just the way life is. But I think we'll get decent rates in the near future, and I think they're decent now compared to especially what they have been over a 30-year history. But a lot of good things coming. If you're hesitant on buying a home, you shouldn't.
We just talked a few shows ago. Be aware, if you're one of the people who's been waiting on the sidelines for rates to go down and you're trying to buy your first home, or you want to sell your home, buy another home, be aware, when rates drop, a lot of people who've been on the sideline just like you are going to join the market, and now you're in more competition. So could we see a situation where homes are listed for one price, selling for much more because of all the people interested in buying it? Yeah, that could happen. Right now, that's not happening much. So you could make the argument this is a good time to buy ahead of a potential rate drop. Then refinance the interest rate when rates go down. It's as simple as that. But take advantage of these lower prices, because when rates are down, prices are up.
That's great.
That's all I got.
You should always buy property. The earth's not getting any bigger. As stupid as that sounds. So if you can buy a house, it's going to make you money if you hold on to it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that's everything.
Hey, it's a little bit shorter this time, but we'll get you another one out soon. And till then, I'm Craig Lee.
I'm Rob McGee.
And this is Real Talk with Rob and Craig.